The Life of Princess Charlotte. Introducing Charlotte the Princess Royal, a captivating figure whose life was steeped in royalty and intrigue. Born on the 29th of September 1766 at Buckingham House in London, she emerged as the cherished child of King George III and his wife Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz. The splendour of her birth was immortalised in a magnificent painting by Francis Coates, capturing the tender bond between mother and child. From the outset, it was clear that Princess Charlotte possessed an air of distinction that set her apart from her siblings. On the 27th of October 1766, she was baptised at St James's Palace by none other than the esteemed Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Secker. Among the distinguished guests in attendance were her paternal aunts, Caroline Matilda and Louisa, along with Caroline Matilda's husband, the Danish King Christian VII. The Duke of Portland and the Dowager Countess of Effingham had the honour of representing the King and Queen of Denmark as godparents, an auspicious start to a life destined for greatness. At the tender age of 18 months, Charlotte was designated as the Princess Royal, a title bestowed upon her on the 22nd of June 1789. This delighted her parents, who had welcomed 3 successive sons into their growing family. As the eldest daughter of the monarch, she was fated for a significant marriage on the European stage, and her education assumed paramount importance. Thus, from her earliest years, she embarked on a journey of intellectual enrichment, recognizing the prevailing influence of the French language in European courts. The young princess was assigned a French tutor to ensure her flawless command of the language. The elimination of any trace of accent became a priority, allowing her to effortlessly navigate diplomatic circles in the future. Charlotte's extraordinary memory was also cultivated, with recitation of verses and stories forming an integral part of her early education. This remarkable ability to retain detail would accompany her throughout her life, conferring upon her an almost magical recall. Yet Charlotte's formative years were not confined solely to scholarly pursuits. At the tender age of 3, she participated in her first tableau, donning the attire of Columbine, a character in a delightful performance. With her 7-year-old brother George, the Prince of Wales, as her dance partner, she graced the stage, exhibiting an early inclination towards the performing arts. However, as she matured, she grew to despise such display of childlike vanity, believing them to breed arrogance and self-importance. Nevertheless, her parents persisted in showcasing their daughter's charm and grace. In late 1769, an event transpired that would forever alter the course of Charlotte's public appearances. She and the Prince of Wales were paraded before the masses in a grand expedition, styled as a junior drawing room at St James's Palace. The young princess was adorned in a splendid Roman toga, reclining upon a sumptuous sofa. While such spectacles were deemed acceptable in German courts, they were met with disdain in England, resulting in a backlash from a disapproving London mob. In the aftermath, the Prince of Wales confided to Lady Mary Coke, revealing Charlotte's exhaustion from the ordeal. Sensibly, the King and Queen resolved never to subject their daughter to such public showcases again, a decision that would shape the princess's future engagements. Thus, Charlotte the Princess Royal embarked on a life marked by privilege, intellect, and the audacious expectations of her royal lineage. Her story weaves together the tapestry of European nobility, promising an extraordinary journey through the annals of history. Despite being the eldest daughter, Charlotte often found herself living in the shadow of her younger sister, Augusta Sophia, who was just 2 years her junior. From the earliest days, comparisons were drawn between the 2 siblings, and it seemed that Augusta held the upper hand in the beauty department. Even as an infant, Augusta was hailed as the most beautiful baby by Lady Mary Coke, while Charlotte was deemed very plain. This pattern persisted as they grew older, and Charlotte became described as the most sensible and agreeable child, Albert lacking in physical attractiveness, while Augusta continued to be hailed as rather pretty. However, beneath the surface disparities, Charlotte possessed qualities that set her apart from her sister. Unlike Augusta, she did not bear the burden of crippling shyness. Additionally, Charlotte faced a personal challenge, a stammer that her devoted attendant, Mary Dacres, endeavoured to help her overcome. As fate would have it, the trio of eldest princesses was completed with the arrival of Princess Elizabeth in 1770, becoming the seventh child in a growing royal brood. Though the family remained relatively small at the time, with 15 royal children in total, Charlotte was fortunate to have parents who prioritised spending time with their extensive offspring over courtly obligations. Her education was taken seriously, a testament to the King and Queen's commitment. Nonetheless, Charlotte's childhood was not idyllic utopia that her parents had envisioned. The incessant arrival of new siblings and the challenges that beset her father's reign created an environment far from perfect. Nevertheless, she, like her siblings, received a comprehensive education under the guidance of tutors. Buckingham House, Kew Palace, and Windsor Castle served as her primary abodes during her formative years. To ensure her well-being, her wet nurse Frances, the wife of James Muttlebury, played a vital role in her early care. In the intricate tapestry of royal life, Charlotte's experiences were shaped by the complex dynamics of sibling rivalry, the struggle to find her own identity, and the nurturing guidance of devoted caregivers. The story of her upbringing would lay the foundation for the resilient and remarkable woman that she would become. In a momentous ceremony on the 18th of May 1797, the Princess Royal embarked on a new chapter of her life as she exchanged vows with Frederick, the hereditary Prince of Württemberg. The opulent Chapel Royal at St James's Palace in London bore witness to this union, uniting Charlotte and Frederick, the eldest son and heir apparent of Duke Frederick II Eugenie of Württemberg, and his wife, Margravine Sophia Dorothea of Brandenburg-Schwedt. A twist of fate awaited the newlyweds as Duke Frederick II passed away, elevating Frederick to the position of reigning Duke of Württemberg on the 22nd of December 1797. From his previous marriage to Princess Augusta, the late daughter of Duke Karl II, and Princess Augusta of Great Britain, Duke Frederick had 2 sons and 2 daughters. This familial connection intertwined the British and Württemberg royal families, with Princess Augusta also being the elder sister of Caroline of Brunswick, the estranged wife of the future George IV. Despite the high hopes for their union, the marriage between Charlotte and Frederick produced heartbreak. Tragedy struck when their first child, a daughter, was stillborn on the 27th of April 1798. The weight of this loss cast a shadow over their early years together, and in 1800 the French army invaded Württemberg, forcing the Duke and Duchess to flee to Vienna for safety. The following year, Duke Frederick negotiated a private treaty, surrendering to France. On the 25th of February 1803, he assumed the title of Elector of Württemberg. In a strategic move to secure support from France, he provided a significant auxiliary force to Napoleon, leading to the Emperor recognizing him as the King of Württemberg on the 26th of December 1805. With this accession, Charlotte, the Electress, was formally crowned as Queen of Württemberg on the 1st of January 1806, in a grand ceremony held in Stuttgart, Germany. The political landscape took a dramatic turn as Württemberg seceded from the Royal Roman Empire, aligning itself with Napoleon's Confederation of the Rhine. However, this newfound alliance placed the elevated king at odds with his father-in-law, George III. The British monarch, deeply resentful of his son-in-law's regal title and allegiance to Napoleon, refused to acknowledge Charlotte as Queen of Württemberg in their correspondence. This strained relationship between the two was a reflection of the complex dynamics of power and conflicting loyalties during that era. In 1813, King Frederick made a significant shift in his allegiances, abandoning Napoleon's cause to join the Allied forces. His family ties to the Prince Regent, later George IV, proved advantageous, boosting his standing among the Allies. Following Napoleon's downfall, King Frederick attended the Congress of Vienna, where his royal status was confirmed. However, his reign was not destined to be long-lasting, as he passed away in October 1816, leaving behind a legacy intertwined with the turbulent times of war and political realignments. With the passing of her husband, Charlotte's role transformed into that of Dowager Queen. She chose to reside at the magnificent Ludwigsburg Palace, situated near Stuttgart, where she welcomed visits from her beloved younger siblings. The Duke of Kent, the Duke of Sussex, the Duke of Cambridge, the Landgrave of Hesse-Homburg, and Princess Augusta Sophia graced her with her presence, forming a cherished bond of family. In 1819, Charlotte had the honour of being a grandmother, albeit by proxy, at the christening of her niece, Princess Victoria of Kent, who would later ascend to the throne as Queen Victoria. This joyous occasion held special significance for Charlotte, bridging the gap between generations and reinforcing the enduring ties that bound the British royal family. In 1827, after more than 3 decades away from her homeland, the 60-year-old princess embarked on a momentous journey back to Britain. Her health had deteriorated and she sought medical treatment for dropsy. The introduction of steam on the Rhine provided a convenient means of travel. Setting sail on the 31st of May, Charlotte embarked on the magnificent steamboat Frederick Wilhelm, descending the Rhine with the logistics of her arrival were challenging due to her weight, which made it necessary that she was hosted aboard the Royal Sovereign on a specially crafted chair. Unfortunately, the weather forced the ship to depart from Bath. Upon reaching London, Charlotte took up residence at St. James's Palace, a place filled with memories and history. It is here that she received numerous visits from her extended family and had the opportunity to reconnect with the authorities. A significant farewell visit from the King himself, George IV, marked a poignant moment before her departure. On Tuesday, the 9th of October, Charlotte set sail from England on the Royal Sovereign. However, a fierce storm compelled the ship to retreat to Harwich, delaying her journey. Undeterred by setbacks, Charlotte resumed her voyage on the 14th. After spending a night on board, she continued her journey on the steamboat. Finally, on the 19th of October, she arrived in Frankfurt, where she was warmly welcomed by the King and Queen of Württemberg, as well as the Duke of Cambridge. This joyful reunion served as a reminder of the intertwining of the British and Württemberg connections. On the 24th of October, she returned to Ludwigsburg Palace, her tranquil sanctuary. Tragically, Charlotte's life came to an end within the walls of this palace on the 6th of October 1828. Her final resting place would be in the palace's royal vault, a testament to her significant role in both the British and Württemberg royal families. Her legacy as a beloved Dowager Queen and a remarkable individual endured, forever etched in the annals of history.